Today, in the second part of our interview with Bernie Finn, we ask a really broad question. In true Bernie Finn spirit, we get a direct and deep answer.
3, 2, 1.
Today, mate, we are going to play the second part of our interview with Bernie Finn. I asked him what he believes the biggest challenge to Australia was, and I was expecting something like political ideology, immigration, net zero, or corrupt government, something like that. Sure, all of those things came up during our chat, but the answer I got for this question was far more worrying. So today we're lucky enough to have Bernie Finn with us to have a bit of a chat about the state of play and give us your thoughts, mate. I'm really looking forward to having a chat.
Yeah, great, Chris. Thanks for coming out and enjoying the joys of home.
Yeah, exactly right. Wouldn't be fair if I didn't ask you some questions about politics.
Yeah,
mate.
well, why not? Why not? Everybody does.
What's the biggest challenge facing Australia today, do you think? It's a broad question, but...
Yeah, well, it's I think survival. Survival, because we are facing some major threats internally and externally. What really concerns me is in terms of the defence of Australia is just how cool our relationship with the United States has become. Let's face facts. If the United States hadn't been there in World War II, we'd now all be speaking Japanese. And that's the fact of the matter, simple fact of the matter.
Yeah.
China's sitting there waiting. As soon as they see any weakness, they'll take Taiwan.
Yeah.
And we're not far behind that. And that really concerns me, that Australia does not have the capacity under any circumstances at the moment to defend itself. We just don't. Simple as that. We don't have the Army, the Navy, the Air Force capability to defend Australia by ourselves.
Yeah, and we're not going to get it anytime soon.
No, we're not. No, we can't afford it. No, simple as that. And even if we were flush for funds, which we're not, but even if we were flush for funds, we still wouldn't be able to afford it.
No.
It's a very expensive excise.
Slow process.
Yeah, well, it is too, yes.
Look at these submarines. I mean,
yeah, well, that's...
if we get them.
Yeah, if we get them, exactly.
Yeah.
But even there, what are a few submarines going to do?
Yeah.
That's not going to defend anybody. It's just and the other thing that concerns me is that in the past, Australia has been renowned for our young people being prepared to fight for our future. Going back to the Anzacs, right through, our young people have come to the fore. And I sometimes wonder if now some of those young people mightn't be prepared to do that. And that goes back to what's happening, what's being taught in the schools, the attitudes that are prevailing from government. They're being taught that they're just not they're not expected to stand up for Australia. In fact, a lot of our schools, a lot of our government attitudes are about hating Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hate Australia, you're not going to defend it. You're not going to fight for it.
Yeah.
And we see that on a whole range of issues, on a whole range of fronts. And that really, really worries me, that if that were to happen, and let's face facts, if China wanted to take Australia, they could have us by lunchtime today, and it is 20 to 12. They could have us by lunchtime today. It would take nothing at all for them to do it. So that's what really worries me enormously. But it also what worries me is that we have seen in Victoria, it's a classic example. What I would describe as a communist government. It is a Marxist government. It's a corrupt government, but that's I suppose goes with Marxism, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But we have a Marxist government which has totally destroyed the values of the state. Via the education system, via a variety of laws. It has absolutely destroyed what Victorians used to take as something I'm very proud of.
Yeah.
And it's not surprising that vast numbers of Victorians, it's not just an economic thing, it's not surprising that a vast number of Victorians have actually got out of the place. They've left.
Yeah.
You go to Queensland now,
Yeah.
and they say, "I'm not another Victorian." I say, "I'm going home." So it's all right. And I'm tempted sometimes not to. I have to say,
yeah.
particularly in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
But that's something that we have to consider internally.
Yeah.
And what we saw during COVID, where a dictator, and he was a despot. I call him Despot Dan. Because, anybody who, for no reason at all, can make a declaration that you must stay in your home, and people accept it. Hey, what's going on? I think we saw a small glimpse of what's coming during COVID, when we just accepted, because he came on the telly, this horrid man came on the television every day, and we all sat down and turned it on to find out what we'd be able to do for the rest of the day. This is just absolute nonsense, and we shouldn't have been doing that. We should have been standing up, and as we discovered later, there was no medical reasons for this. It was done because he wanted to do it. Yeah. That was, and if you give these sort of people power, they'll use it. There's no doubt about that. They'll use it. Yep. And what we saw in Victoria, what we saw in New South Wales, what we saw in Queensland, where, we had people, we had babies dying because they're on the wrong side of the border. And in the Queensland, New South Wales border. And Palaszczuk, the then Palaszczuk, she wouldn't allow a baby into Queensland to go to the hospital, a nearby hospital, because of the COVID thing. Yeah. Just extraordinary. Yeah. Extraordinary stuff. And I mean, this is something that people accepted. I hope to God that we've learnt from that. I hope to God that we will never, ever allow that to happen again.
Yeah, I hope you're right, mate.
Because if we do, we're goners.
Yeah.
If we accept that from our political leaders, and I use the word leaders in inverted commas, if we allow that to happen, we've got no hope. There is no hope.
Can I back you up to China and Taiwan? I think I'm with you. That's more when than if now. I think if that happens, or when it happens, what we're going through at the moment with the Strait of Hormuz and Iran and America will fade into.
I think that's right. I mean,
we won't get anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only thing that is stopping China from taking Taiwan now is Trump. If Kamala Harris had won at the last election, as she was president, God help us, but if she was president now, China would already have Taiwan. They would have already invaded, they would have already taken it, and freedom would be no more in Taiwan. And they would be eyeing us off.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. So, we have to be very, very wary of that. People say, why are you so interested in American politics? Because it decides our future as much as it decides theirs. Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes we should get to vote. We should be voting in US elections because it decides our future as much as it decides theirs. Yeah. I thank God, despite the fact that he's a little bit out there sometimes.
A lot out there sometimes.
Well, sometimes a lot out there, but I thank the good Lord for Donald Trump because without Trump, the world would be a total unmitigated mess at the minute. Iran would already have nuclear weapons, and Iran may already be using them. And if you've got the mullahs and the Ayatollah and all those extreme Islamic lunatics with atomic weapons, that's the end of the world as we know it.
Yeah,
because they regard us as the enemy.
Yeah,
and anybody who believes in freedom, anybody who believes in Christianity, anybody who does not subscribe to their extreme form of Islam is the enemy. And they want to kill us. And given the opportunity, they will. Yep. So can I suggest, for those who are inclined, get down on your knees and give thanks to the Lord for Donald Trump, because despite his interesting ways sometimes, he is saving the world at the moment. He is the only thing that's saving the world.
So the biggest threat to Australia is for us to find a way to survive. Because as it stands, we can't defend ourselves, and we have called on the one ally that can actually defend us. And that, to a degree, we can't defend ourselves.
No, we can't. Definitely not.
And the allies that we currently have,
Where
the
are
UK,
They can't.
they got one ship.
One warship that's broken. It's like,
They're not defending us either.
come to our rescue. We can save ourselves more than they can save us.
Yeah. Now, we have slightly opposing views on Donald Trump, so this will be good to debate. Regardless of what you think of Trump, we have become completely dependent on the USA, or we had up until the point where he was president. And most of the Western world had, through either being funded or weapon defense, whatever it is. And like we just said, UK, Canada, France, and maybe Japan are our biggest allies, but none of them are going to jump into the water and save us if we start to drown. They're as incapable as us. So, while I can't imagine you getting on your knees and thanking the good Lord for Donald Trump.
Look, when he first came about, I was like, thank God that Kamala Harris never got in.
Yes. I think we can all agree that
And
shouldn't
then
have
slowly, I've went, what's he doing now? Oh, that's not quite where I thought it was going. Look, is he just another billionaire out there to like rip the country off and rip the world off and help his mates out? Possibly. Is he throwing a spanner in the work for these one world government WEF types? Probably.
Absolutely.
Is he just a distraction?
Yeah.
Is he just a distraction to make us believe that anybody that's fighting our enemy, i.e. the WEF and WHO and all the rest of it, must be our friend? Maybe, but it's looking more doubtful. And since he's attacked Iran, has made America look a bit more inadequate than people believed.
I think what he thought was going to happen is what Putin thought was going to happen with Ukraine.
It's going to be easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
3 days later, he'd have won.
He thought it was going to be Iraq.
He did. Yeah. And it just goes to show that warfare never goes as planned, for a start, and that America aren't as strong as they think. And the problem they've got now, or the problem Trump's got now, is the rest of the world have blinked. They've gone, hang on, he's not quite as strong as everybody thought.
And I think China might be looking at it going, is that all he's got?
Yeah.
And going,
He's achieved.
I could do whatever I want.
He's achieved nothing. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
He showed his hand too
He has,
early. And
and he didn't go through with it to
so
the end.
is he doing it because Israel forced his hand?
Not if you listen to the recent phone conversations.
But how much of that is
True.
just a distraction as well?
Yeah, I don't know.
You just that's the thing. There's so much propaganda
You don't know what's
and
right.
wars and all the shit that goes with it.
It's hard to know, isn't it?
You can jump from here to there, and what you thought here and what you thought there, completely different. But once again, we're all just pawns, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're not even pawns to them.
No.
Like one pawn's like a billion people.
Yeah.
How are we going to manipulate them? That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, it does a bit. What did you think of what he said about the young people maybe not being willing to defend Australia anymore? That the schools are teaching or indoctrinating these children into hating parts of Australia, whether that be through trying to get the voice through, whether that be through all sorts of different things. DEI, we're teaching a lot of DEI in classes instead of history and geography these days. Is there merit to that? I think there is some merit.
I think there is. I mean, I speak to my son about this and we clash all the time. He disagrees, but like the proof is in the pudding. He still thinks like labourer or like all that. Oh, they're not that bad. And I'm like, what about all the lies? I mean, the obvious lies. It's like, I've never known a government to out and out lie so much to your face.
Yeah.
And
But people don't see
to
it.
be so obvious.
Yeah, people don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
my
crazy.
son doesn't see it. It's a shame.
So whether they're willing to actually, if a war did start and we went back to conscription or we asked people to volunteer, I don't know how many of the youngies these days would. I really don't know. I guess the difference, mate, is that when I went to school and you would have gone to school, you played sport in the breaks. How often did you sit down at high school and talk about politics?
Never. I'd be playing football.
Yeah.
First break, second break. Then after school had finished, I'd play football again. I was still shit, but I'd play football again, and then I'd go home for tea.
Yeah.
Then I'd go outside again.
Yeah, we were the same.
Yeah.
footy in winter, cricket in summer. Politics was about something for mum and dad to worry about.
Yeah.
But now students are expected to enter into activism, right? They're expected to take sides and to hate the side they oppose. I've never seen
Such aggression towards the
hatred.
opposition. I know.
Exactly.
Never.
We witnessed it at the marches last year.
Yeah, it was awful.
It was. It looks like if you don't agree with someone, then it's got to be an argument.
The thing is, if these people are real, the left, I mean, and these other people on the far right are real, regardless of what they believe in, they should be just going, you know what? You're maybe partly the problem, and they'll be saying you're part of the problem, but really the problem is the guys that are running the show.
Yeah.
And keep us fighting amongst ourselves. You don't realise who the actual opposition are.
Yeah.
And so
It's the
that's
old,
how they do it.
it's the pitchfork and
Yeah,
lanterns.
and keep them fighting amongst themselves that they don't realise, and they think that's the enemy, but that's the enemy, the government.
Yeah. The other point he makes in there is that it does feel like it's a socialist or communist regime.
Well, we said that as well.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's feeling more like it every day.
Since 2020, that's how it's felt. There's no doubt
I
about
mean, what are these data centres for, really?
it. No.
Is it for complete
Control.
control over every part of like everything we do? I mean, it seems like that's, I mean, I've heard it enough now, but I don't want to fall into that category, just going, oh, it must be true. But what else is it?
Yeah, don't know.
What is the other reason for forcing us to have all these data centres? And
I reckon if you draw up a list of 1 to 10 priorities for our government, the people would be 10th every time, mate. So you got top priorities like satisfying the narrative, that's a top priority for the government. Virtue signalling, that's a top priority for the government. Lining their own pockets and preparing for lobbyist positions.
yeah, that's top three.
That's right.
That's top three.
Right up there.
I mean,
Personal ambition, all of that ahead of the people.
what
And-
job am I going to get after this?
Yeah.
I could help them, and I can be their CEO.
Yeah, exactly
future.
right. Yep, or just a director on their board. So we can never allow that to happen again. His closing remark on the question with relation to Islamists having nuclear weapons. So again, we don't necessarily agree on this one. So for mine, he's right in that you don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, but I don't know how close. It's a bit like the weapons of mass destruction, right? With Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
We'll never know how close they were. We'll have to take America's word for it again that they were close.
Yeah, but
Are they the boy that cried wolf again?
well, didn't Tulsi Gabbard? She's the security minister or whatever, and she went in and she said, "No, they don't have the capabilities. They're years and years and years away from it." And next minute, they're like, "Oh no, we're going to bomb them anyway," and then they bomb them. And now she's resigned just recently. It seemed, I know her husband's ill in hospital, but
Yeah.
it seems kind of like maybe she's been pushed out because she disagreed with him. Who knows?
You could well
And I
be
like
right.
Tulsi.
Yeah, you
So
do. Yeah. We can't allow some of those countries to get nuclear weapons. It's troublesome enough that the countries that already have nuclear weapons, like China and Russia and Israel, already have nuclear weapons. We don't necessarily want them in those hands. And even some would say America, you don't want them in those hands either. And depending on who gets in next in France, you don't want them in those hands either.
No.
We certainly don't want them in Iran's hands.
Yep.
They're in Pakistan's hands. I don't understand why Pakistan just doesn't give them a nuclear weapon. They're friends, right?
Yeah, that is a bit. That makes you wonder, eh?
It does, yeah.
Because it's like, I mean,
There are laws against that, by the way. You're not allowed to do that.
laws.
I know.
Laws are there to be broken. I mean, look at some of these laws that like Israel, America, Britain. It's like all these countries have committed international law, broke international law, but nothing seems to be done about any of it.
No.
So
Well, it's international law.
exactly, it's
country's not gonna go to
law
another
to like
country.
control everybody.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
it's like you can do whatever you want.
exactly
Basically, if you've got enough power and you just go to the international law, whatever, and nothing ever gets done.
No, exactly right.
Ever. Unless you're a minnow, tiny little country that's slaughtered somebody. Oh, they've done, international law is going to go in because they've committed crimes. It's like, that's the only time you ever hear about anything. These Western countries, nothing happens to them.
No, exactly.
Oh,
They can do what they like.
what's they say about Netanyahu? He can't go into so many countries or they'll arrest him. Well, they fuck. They're never going to arrest him. He can go anywhere he wants. Who's going to arrest him?
He couldn't go to Russia.
They're not going to do what they did in Venezuela. They just go in and like take him and just like, it's like, and I'm sure there's a law about that as well.
Yeah, well, it would be, but it's been broken. Let us know what you think, everybody. It was a good chat with Bernie, and we've got a couple more to come around immigration, around net zero, and around the absolute corruption in Australian politics, which people will find fascinating. So it'll be a really good series.
He has got a lot to say.
He has. And more knowledge on this.
Most of it I agree with, but
Yeah,
some of
you
it,
didn't agree with some of it, but that's okay.
but you can't agree with everything.
You can't.
That's what having your own opinion is, and that's what democracy is, isn't it?
And I love the way he's expressing himself. It's terrific. Yeah. Let us know what you think, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
See ya.